Hi, I'm Maddox, and today we're going to go over the Currency Act. Before 1764, there was no uniform currency between the 13 American colonies. At the time, there wasn't any gold or silver that could be used, and currency could only be obtained through England. Unfortunately, England didn't provide enough currency for it to be practically used by colonists, forcing the colonies to use bills of credit. Bills of credit were issued by banks and loan offices, and its value was based on mortgaged land. The uses of these bills varied, with some being intended for repaying debts, while others could only be used to purchase items. There was no standard unit of measurement for the currency, which overcomplicated everyday transactions. The colonial economy became unstable, with the value of the bills decreasing. A bill of credit used by the colonists can be seen here on this slide. On September 1, 1764, Parliament passed the Currency Act. The Currency Act gave the British control over the currency used by the 13 colonies. The British prohibited the colonists from using their own currency and reinstated the use of British coin. Parliament heavily favored a hard currency system, which was based on pound sterling. Because of this, the British government didn't want to incorporate the colonists' currency into their system, and decided to just completely abolish it instead. A British coin, which was a part of their currency at the time, is seen here at the bottom of the slide. Like stated earlier, there was not enough hard currency to use in the colonies, which led the colonists to conclude that solely using British currency would only make the situation worse. The colonists, unsurprisingly, were very unhappy with this decision and decided to protest against it. What seemed to anger the colonists the most was the fact that they were not properly represented in the British Parliament, which meant that they had no involvement in the decisions that were made about them. As a response, some colonists in Massachusetts gathered in a town meeting, crying out against this taxation without being properly represented in Parliament. In addition, later in the year, the colonists decided to practice non-importation, which meant that the colonists wouldn't use any British goods. These protests against the Currency Act were another stepping stone in the path of the American Revolution, as the Currency Act aggravated the colonists further about their lack of control over their own lives and the unfair rule of the British government. This would ultimately help inspire unified protests throughout the 13 colonies and later the American Revolution. Depictions and illustrations of the colonists protesting and resisting British rule can be seen on the bottom of the slide. Thank you for listening.